Well, good morning. Good morning. So I've got Instagram going live and I'm there. There I go. I just saw the notification. And so given a few minutes, it's just this lighting. You know what it is, what it is. Giving Instagram a few minutes to send out, maybe let me sit a little closer, to send out the notification for the light, not for the, I got lighting on the brain here. Send out the notification as we get started for, excuse me, I'm trying to, this camera, I might have to actually update my iPad because the lighting and everything on my new iPhone is just like, and then over here it looks like, So, good morning and welcome to Pastor Minnassa's Sacred Space. Okay, Google, increase volume. Let's just take a moment to listen to this is 528 HZ Sofa Jail to spend a few minutes coming into this sacred space, getting present, connecting with the energy, releasing all that has gone before. And so I welcome you to Pastor Minnassa's Sacred Space. And a shout out to all of you that watch this later. I appreciate you taking the time to invest in yourself and to invest in your spirituality. So what is the purpose of this time together? It is the purpose for me to serve as your pastor. What does a pastor do? Lead, guide, and direct you to your own spiritual wisdom, to your own spiritual source, to your own spiritual capacity. It's like the hermit in the tarot deck is holding the light. The hermit has gone within and connected with spirit and connected with the ancestors and is leading and being guided by those forces, and now has come out empowered by that connection, empowered by that divine knowing to shine the light, not to convert and make folks. If you don't want to do it, keep on doing what you don't, okay? If you're wanting to live your best life in a way that is empowering and love-filled and joyful and healthy, then this is the stop to begin the work week, to begin the week in this sacred space, in this safe space. Let's just take a few minutes and just become present. So now I feel like when I was a traditional pastor, one of my least favorite things, and most pastors will let you know, is when you have to do announcements at the church, because it sort of breaks up the flow of the church, the service, So all of a sudden, like, now we just have some talking head, or here, look at your bulletin. But I do have some announcements, so here we go. We'll start them at the beginning. So there will not be a Pastor Minnassa's Sacred Space on April 3rd. That's next Sunday, because my beautiful wife and I will be on holiday. I love that British way of saying it, on holiday. We'll be on vacation. It's my spring break. And so I will see you on the 10th. And I want to ask you all, if you haven't done so already, and so many of you are so good to me, if you're already watching it on YouTube, you probably already subscribed to my YouTube page. But I'm just asking, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube page. Do you know that I have a podcast, Tarot Living with Minnassa podcast? Most of the people that listen to it find it on Apple Podcasts, but you can find it on Spotify Podcasts. So follow my podcast, like, subscribe, get a notification, all those things. And I'm also available for readings. Now, next weekend, of course, I won't be because I'll be on holiday, but usually I'm available on the weekends for a reading. And then if you enjoy this sacred space and you enjoy my energy and you want to get more of it, I have what's called a daily dose of Minnassa. It's a daily text with a tarot or oracle deck and just some inspiration that I channel that day from spirit. And so all those things are available. The link is in my bio. You can go to my webpage, which is www.minnassa.com. End of announcements. And like they used to say in church, govern yourself accordingly. Okay, Google, volume 4. As always, I try to keep this to 15 minutes. There we go. And so I want to do our reading for the morning. And this is coming from Science of Mind magazine. And the reading is called Freedom to Know the Truth. It begins with this quote by Louise Hay. If you know about Hay House, this is the founder. I do not fix problems. I fix my thinking. Then problems fix themselves. And this quote from Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of Science of Mind, which now many people know them as Centers for Spiritual Living, not Scientology. That's why they changed their name. Centers for Spiritual Living. The truth alone has the power to let the sunlight of the eternal God shine through the shadows of his imprisoned soul and set the captive free to know him or herself. This teaching, this philosophy, this way of life, it isn't for wimps. It's about knowing yourself, diving deep, and healing what needs to be healed. This teaching takes courage to step in and to step up to the best of who you are and the pure potential lying dormant within you. It is not for fence sitters or water testers. If you want to know if something works, you jump in with both feet. Find your faith, trust in the big picture, and find the absolute truth of your being. Find the place within you that knows fully and completely you are the beginning and the end of everything you want to be. Know also that at your depth, everything is always going to be okay. That this work you do, the work that is continuous and ongoing, is the priceless negotiation of knowing your own mind. You are the eternal sunlight and the heavenly host of pure radiance, and everything in your path has been put there by grace and grace alone. What I know to be true is that no matter what is happening in my tiny world, it is nothing compared to the power and presence of the universal source that fully supports my every action. What I know to be true is that whatever is going on in my crazy, ego-based, irrational, illogical thinking, I have tools within me I can use to change any of it, to change all of it. I speak to myself kindly, unabashedly, and with a bold audacity of knowing I am spirit unfolding and I need to do nothing more. And it ends with this affirmation: I am free to know myself, and I joyfully accept the revealing of the fullest expression of spirit through me now. And so our theme this month has been spiritual living. And what is it that I'm talking about? What do I mean by spiritual living? And that's what that text is about. The spiritual living is a choice, an intentionality, and it's about living your best life. And just like to live physically, you've got to feed your physical self. You've got to move your physical self. You've got to interact with people physically. That is very true of the spiritual self, that we are a multidimensional being, that yes, this beautiful earth being is housing the eternal me, housing the eternal you. And as we feed that eternal person, we then change the vibration around us. And this planet is ascending, and it's calling on those of us who want to help with that ascension to shine our light. And so when I'm talking about spiritual living, what am I mean? So one, I'm talking about spiritual growth. And this is about raising your vibration. You know, fear is a vibration, and it's a low vibration. It's an kind of fear is a good thing, right? Like if you go outside, open your door, and there's like 3 Rottweilers and a German Shepherd and Godzilla standing right there. Fear will lead you to close the door, and that's a wise thing. Okay, fear is a almost primal. It's about protection. But when you are fearful of everything, your fear is no longer serving as you're protecting, and it's serving as stopping you. And so we've got to learn to raise to a higher vibration. Fear is behind what's happening in Ukraine. Fear of losing the control, fear of not being a leader, fear of not being in power, and Putin is putting people's lives at risk and killing people. This is my opinion, because he is fear-based. I live here in the Mid-South, having moved here from California. Folks, we're not going to have CRT, and, interracial marriage should have never went to the Supreme Court, and we're going to stop abortion, and, we don't want people being educated. Okay, that is fear. The fear of being left behind, or FOMO, the fear of missing out. That because you don't have faith in yourself and your ability, you want to keep everyone down with you. And so fear-based living, while it's primal, we're not in a primal existence anymore. And so this spiritual life that I'm calling you to, again, is about spiritual growth. Did you see I got my nails done? And raising our vibration. Raising our vibration. And it's about transformation. But transformation is a process. Not like I'm transforming and I'm done. It is about going from glory to glory. It's about having blessings and abundance. Yes. Let's have the good life. Yes. Let's live the good life. Let's have a life of joy and contentment. And thank you, Kyle Gray, for this amazing oracle deck with these great images. And it's about manifesting from a place of love, from a place of joy, from a place of knowing our worth and our value. How do I get there? How do I live spiritually? One, you've got to do the work. Part of this fast world, I know now I'm starting to sound like a boomer, no boomer. Okay, but part of this fast world is you think things happen overnight. They don't. Even a person who's considered an overnight success has been playing music in clubs and being opening acts and doing bar mitzvahs and weddings. They've been doing all that stuff, building up that energy. And then all of a sudden they make it big on the scene, but it didn't just happen overnight. Same with actors and actresses. They've been in commercials and in modeling and doing plays off Broadway, and so you got to put in the work. You've got to put in the work. If you want something easy, which would be like, yeah, but that's not how, even having a baby is not easy, right? Pushing and, for me, pushing and bearing down. And so I wasn't in labor for 24 hours, but I'm telling you, the time up to that's not easy. And you see women's feet swelling, their hands swelling, being parents not easy. It's like, how do I not kill these children and raise them? But I want to sleep and they don't, right? So the things that matter come with challenges so that we can grow, so that we can evolve, because the bigger and better, more expanded version of ourselves brings that wisdom, brings that love, brings that light, brings that transformative presence, and then we expand the light all around. So how do I live spiritual? First of all, you got to take charge. You have to make it your intention that you are going to live that you're not just living here to eat, sleep, poop, repeat, and die. But that you know that you've come to this planet for a bigger presence, to live a life of joy, to live a life of power, to live a life of love, and that you're going to do it. You got to take charge and take action. So it's not just happy thoughts. You got to do some stuff. One, you may need to take a step back. Sometimes we're so up on stuff that we just can't see it. And let's begin with self-acceptance. Okay, this isn't about fixing. We're not sinners. We didn't come in here with sin. We don't need some white man outside of us to save us, or black, purple, yellow, green, orange man to save us. We are saved within ourselves when we connect with the divine. I am healed. I am perfect the way that I am. Am I eating better? Yes. Do I do my little 10-minute exercise? Yes. Do I got my nails done and got my contacts, which I'm not wearing right now? But yes, I do want to get better, but I do it from a place of knowing that I am fine, just the way that I am, and I am building on this great foundation. And then you got to listen deeply. And for people who like me are Virgos or Geminis or have Gemini or have Mercury, we want to talk. Sometimes you need to shut up and listen deeply to the spirit within. And this used to be my least favorite word. When I was in church, I used to hate to hear this word, but now I understand it. You got to surrender. And surrender is really come into partnership. Come into partnership. When you go into the ocean, you're not like fighting it, like, no, you're not going to get me, current. We relax and surrender to the current. And that's the same thing with spirit. Relax and surrender to spirit. You have to cut some cords. And this talking about relatives, family, friends that you've known a long time. Not everyone is in your life for forever. Some are for a season. And that's a hard lesson that I'm learning right now. Some people were in my life for a season. I let them go joyously. I cut the cords to the past. I have to share my vision board so you can see the way that I've pictured that. But sometimes you got to cut connections. Connections to your story. Well, I'm the victim. Okay, I say look at Oprah. Okay, ain't nobody got a story worse than hers. Okay, she wasn't kidnapped and beat. Okay, so you got that in your story. But molested, not wanted, not valued, judged, everything. And here she is standing. Did it take her overnight? No. But she had to cut cords. Couldn't be friends with people. Had to learn to say no. Let go of wanting to please people, which is oftentimes that one attribute of people who've been physically and sexually abused. You want to please because that'll stop the pain. Okay, but you got to just cut the cord to those actions that are hurtful, that are harmful to you. But you got to remember to do it with compassion. You got to be kind to yourself. This isn't like, what is that cycling class where people are like cycling for hours, or this is about, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to heal myself. No, with compassion. So like yesterday, I'm just I was in a funk yesterday, and I'm having a reading. Say, oh, what, Minnassa, you get a reading? Of course. I don't do a service that I don't know the value in myself. And yes, I can read my own cards, but sometimes I need that expert. That person I know is spiritually connected. And this is like a stranger, because when my friends give me reading, there's so much love there. And I need to know if my guides want to talk to me in a more direct way, even though they're also all very nice. So anyway, but, get that outside. Be compassionate. But yeah, I'm checking on some things. Where do I need to do some work? Where do I have a blind spot? What more do I need to release, right? Because I'm also in the process of spiritual transformation and growing, and I want to do the work. And then honesty and communication. Yeah, I am perfect in every way, but I am evolving that perfection every day. So honesty, communication, forgiveness, and understanding. And a lot of people like being the victim, so they don't want to forgive. And I know that's a hard statement. I have this illness, and so I can't do this or that. Okay. But my uncle had a stroke and a heart attack on the same day at the same time. They told him he wasn't going to live. My uncle was back to driving, walking with his little four-pronged, it's your choice. You can receive the diagnosis, but the prognosis, how it's going to work out, is up to us. For many of us, it's that inner child healing. And again, strength and guidance. Who is partnering with you? How are you growing? Oh, I'm at 20 minutes. I need to bring this to a close. And that, yes, being a spiritual person takes courage and bravery. And I love this image of Joan of Arc. And that sometimes things are going to hurt and sometimes they're not. But the hurt, you just move through it. You know, when you get that little sore, my daughter would get a sore in her arm and I do it with the rubbing alcohol. I say, no, that hurts. But that hurt is the healing. The hurt that's happening in the United States around the racial issues and misogyny, not valuing women. People, you hurt my feelings, so I don't want to talk about it. Feel the hurt. That's how we know we're the healing. That's where we notice in the love. That's where we notice in the light. And that this whole process of doing the work, of inner healing, of inner child healing, forgiveness and understanding, honesty and talk, all done with grace and ease. You are worth living your best life. And this planet needs us to do that. We are helping this great spiritual being who, like us, is embodied in a physical form to raise the vibration and the ascension for Mother Gaia. And so as we bring this time together to a close, I thank you for being here. I remind you I will not be here next week. I'm on spring break. Have a blessed and beautiful day. The God in me sees the goddess and the divinity in you. Namaste.